Woohoo! All right, guys, welcome back to Life Unedited. I am your host, Tabitha Sweeney, and I am bringing you your lifestyle guide to living and creating a life that is aligned solely with you. So, this is like terrifying, you guys, because I have been doing the podcast for a while. But this is the first time somebody gave me the suggestion last week to start streaming it. So, this is the first time that I am actually live streaming on YouTube while recording the podcast itself. So, I'm real interested to see how this goes, you guys. Let's find out. I don't know. So, it's really just the camera's just like me talking to you. Which I think is pretty boring, but like, let's see what you guys think. I don't know. All right. So today, I want to talk about the feeling that women, especially moms, go through as they become a mom. They have this baby, and their world went from being about them to now feeling completely invisible. And this is something I can speak relatively clearly on. Um, it hit me last week. It's a thought and a feeling that it appeared to me in about 3 or 4 different conversations last week, which told me that means we need to be talking more about this. And this is something that women are struggling with. And actually on Friday, I was on a call. And she's a amazing local photographer. Her name is Elizabeth Snyder. If you do not know her, look her up. She does incredible work. And we were on a call from like business to business, talking ideas and collaborations as two small business, women-owned businesses. And in the conversation, it turned to how hard motherhood is and how life changes as you get older. And I had brought up the fact now Liz is happily married, and has a beautiful family, but I had brought up the fact that it's time to start dating again. Like, I made this decision. I want the end result, but I really don't wanna go through the dating process, right? But, like, tough shit, because that's what we have to do. So, here we go. So, as I'm saying this to her and saying, "I don't even freaking know how to go about dating as a mother who is 40. Dating doesn't look the same as it did the last time I did this." And we were talking about all the changes you go through and how as you hit 40, I could not have been more excited to turn 40 and to kiss my 30s goodbye. But also, let's face it, I'm 40, right? Like my body is certainly not what it was the last time I was out dating. My responsibilities in life are not what it was. If you have a membership in episode, I think it was episode 12 or 13, I don't remember. Um, but I talked greatly at great length about opening up trauma wounds and realizing, the way I used sex as a coping mechanism back then. Well, that is not something I'd like to do again, right? Like, I am not that person anymore. And the reality is, let's say I was going to walk into a bar and try to meet somebody that way. who's gonna like, yes, okay, I'm gonna say this. Yes, I realize I do still feel attractive. I am still attractive. My body is while it is not what it was, my body is not awful by any means. Like, I have no problems with my body, right? But let's also face it, I'm not competing with 25-year-olds, okay? Like, also, I'm not looking for a 25-year-old. So, I'm not looking to meet someone in a bar because that's really not, like, the end all be all of where I want my life to be, and I'm assuming if I meet you in a bar, that that is where you like to hang out, right? And that's gonna become a problem later on for me because that is not my lifestyle. So, as we're having this discussion, it comes up that as we get older, we become more, like, translucent until the point that we feel invisible. When all we really want at this stage in our life is to feel alive again because we've just lost 5, 12, 20 years, whether it was because we were building a career, we were raising children, we were taking care of aging parents, taking care of aging grandparents, whatever the case may be, we went and it almost feels like it happens overnight. Like overnight, you go from being able to walk in a room and turn heads. You go from being able to leave the bar with more money than you came with to being invisible. Like you're at the bar and like the bartender's not coming over to serve you because there's perkier boobs right down there, right? Like that's That's the reality. And part of that I think is because we become jaded with life, right? Like we become exhausted. We it is just it's just part of life. Like there's nothing wrong with it. I want to be perfectly clear about that. I don't necessarily know that there's a way around missing that experience, but what I do think is if we if we gave a little bit more focus and emphasis to the fact that these women and these moms need to continue to feel alive in order to thrive. And if we normalized that, society as a whole could be much happier because our moms could in turn go home and take care of their babies better. They could go into work and give a better, stronger performance. But what that means is it means that moms also cannot be in charge of everything. We have to lighten the mental load. Part of the reason that moms become so invisible, and this is not just moms, this is women in general. Okay. Because I know plenty of women who are not moms, but who have built their career, who have gone after their goals, who are still feeling this way. It we need to trying to think of the right word of what we need to do, like how we need to do this. We need to we need to help alleviate the mental load, the stress, the exhaustion, the requirements of being a woman in society. That's what we need to do. And if we can do that, and if we can help women feel alive, they will be better off. The problem is, you go ask a Do I say middle age? Because like, I am now middle age. I watched the bar side note, this is total side note, but last night I went out, I sat at the bar. I watched the bartender ID 85% of the people who came up to the bar. Guys, I didn't get ID'd. They didn't even say, "Are you over 21?" Nope, nothing. We're at that point of life. So do you see? You feel invisible, you see? I used to not have to worry about whether or not I was even 21 because I knew that I could smile my way in or I could get what I wanted. And women start losing confidence because that starts fading. It starts fading. And it starts rightfully so. We have other obligations and other priorities that come into our life that require our full attention, right? So, dude, I totally freaking get it. But to take this, like, circle this all the way back to the beginning of the conversation, as Liz and I were on this call, and she had mentioned just wanting to feel alive, and I felt my eyes well up with tears. And it was like the floodgates just opened. They opened wide and the tears started coming down, and I had never felt more seen or validated than I did in that moment with another woman who was also saying the same thing. I used to walk into the bar and turn heads. I used to be the shiny thing in the room that people wanted to talk to. I didn't have to exert an effort. And yet now nobody looks when I walk into a room. And I want to be clear, this is not just because of our bodies. It's because of our energy. And our energy goes from being like up here, woohoo, let's party, to like zombie mode. We're past the point where I should have already taken off my bra, but I'm fucking out because I know that's what I should be doing right now to give me some me time, but this isn't really the me time that I really want, right? And life in general feels like a fucking uphill battle. So, problem number 2 arises because women don't know. Ask any middle-aged woman out there if money was not an issue. If you did not have to worry about how you were gonna pay the bills, if all you had to do was worry about you, what do you wanna do? What are you passionate about? What do you love? Most of them have no fucking clue. It's sad. Women don't know because they went from being from the world revolving around them and knowing everything that they wanted to overnight, they don't fucking matter because you have to keep the kids alive. You have to keep the dog alive. You have to make sure that your husband knows where the fuck he's supposed to be and when he's supposed to fucking be there. You have to make sure that you know that the bus doesn't need to come because this kid is sick and the school knows this is da 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 da. And the list never fucking stops. And it's and then all of a sudden people are like, what do you want? Like, I remember being asked, "What do I want for Mother's Day?" And this was a couple of years ago, before the divorce, and I remember saying to my ex-husband at the time, "I want you to take the kids and go somewhere for an entire day." And I realized maybe that shouldn't be on Mother's Day because the kids expect to be with mommy on Mother's Day, but, like, that's what I want for my present. I want you to take the kids, go somewhere, overnight, go somewhere, and I wanna be left the fuck alone. Do you know he continued to ask me for, like, another 2 weeks, "What do you want for Mother's Day?" My answer never changed. Never joked, I never laughed, I never said, "Just kidding." Nope, never said that. And then the day of Mother's Day, I think I got a sweater and, like, a pop socket for my phone. And that night, he's like, "Well, you didn't tell me what you wanted." And I was like, yes, I did. 17 times. I told you, I want you to take the fucking kids and go away overnight and leave me in the house by myself. That is honest to God what I fucking wanted. Or send me to a hotel that has a spa and let me get a massage and let me fucking stay there alone. That is why moms now feel invisible because one, we did tell you exactly what we wanted, but you didn't think it was an appropriate answer. And two, our big dreams in life are now like, everybody shut the fuck up and somebody stop touching me. I just want to be home by myself. I just want to walk into the bathroom and open the drawer and have the brush be sitting there because nobody moved it from the last time I put it there, right? Like these are the things that we now dream of. Took a drastic change from where it used to be, huh? So one of the things I think that is so important, especially as we're in the new year and we're going into this. I want to encourage all women to really sit and think about what makes you feel alive and think about it in different facets of your life. What makes you feel alive in your relationship? And if you are not in a relationship, by yourself, try to tap into some of that sensuality. Book a boudoir photo shoot. Find a group, and if anybody needs some, I have some that I can help connect you with. There's online groups, there's Facebook groups, there are where women get together and they talk about the things that have been told their whole life not to talk about. Like, go find a group and start tapping into, like, who are you? What do you want? If you're with your partner, how do you want to be touched? What do you like? Outside of your relationship, what activities bring you more energy? What space is there where you feel completely safe? Where do you go that opens your creative windows and, like, you get there and your juices, your ideas, your everything start flowing. Your confidence shines. But the problem is so often we have that and then we literally, like, get in the car to leave and we're like, "Oh, wah, wah," right? And I can relate to that because for me, it's at the ridge. It's at the flame. Specifically, it's at the flame. When I literally pull into the flame and I am like ideas start coming to me and I feel so safe and every ounce of everything I've been holding on to and carrying, it leaves. But the minute I get back in my car and I make it back to the street and go to make that left out of the parking lot, oh, fuck, all those worries came right back. Like, all I did was take them off for a few minutes and leave them in the car. And when I go to go home, I have to put them back on. But it's okay because you know what? At least I got to take them off for a few minutes. What makes you feel strong and powerful? What is something you always wanted to do, but we're fucking terrified of. What is something you used to do, but you're not sure if you can anymore? You have to find that power. And that power comes from feeling alive. And feeling alive comes from a multitude of facets. And I am positive that you can find it and that you will find it if you put the effort in. Because I had this conversation multiple times last week, and I know this one turned specifically this conversation I'm sharing with you right now really focused and turned into about moms. But actually, the first conversation I had last week what was with a young woman who was in her early 30s, who is not a mother. And I will tell you, it was a lot of the same exact feelings, right? A lot of the same, like, replace, mothering with career and the shoulds and the pressure of society and all of that shit. And what I can tell you is that she, even not as a mom, even at 7 years younger than me, she feels so lost. She doesn't know who she is. She doesn't know what she's aligned with. She doesn't know where her power sits. She doesn't know what she wants. And so after 3 or 4 conversations like this last week, they were so heavy, and I personally last week was in a really heavy space. I actually decided that I took the coaching program I was going to drop in January. I actually ripped it up, tore it up, spit it out, put it in the garbage, and I set forth on a brand new coaching project, and I'm so freaking excited for it, you guys, because it is all about finding the realignment in all ways, okay? The goal is to find 6 women, and we start when all 6 spots are filled. We find 6 women, and we have 2 Zoom calls a week. One is more of a open conversation, hot seat, what are you struggling with? And the other is more of a coaching and a training. We have journal prompts. We have a private Facebook group and a Voxermind. So what that means is, and I might end up changing the Voxermind to a private Facebook chat. But that's neither here nor there. That's just my brain on a tangent at the moment. But the whole point, and then you get 3 one-on-one coaching calls with me. Okay. It's 12 weeks. And the whole point is we are going to tap in and find what the fuck is missing in your life. Why do you feel invisible? How do we make you not feel invisible? How do we complete you as a person so that you can be the best version of you to everyone around you? It is so cliche. And I fucking hate the saying, right? Like, you can't pour from an empty cup, but it's also so fucking true. Do you know what the past 3 weeks have shown me? They showed me how numb I was for the majority of my 30s. How much feeling I didn't have left. I didn't cry a tear when I said I wanted divorce. I didn't cry nothing. The most emotional I felt in those 10 years was when I had to put my house on the market. That was ridiculously, insanely emotional, but even that, let me tell you, got it ready to put on the market. I packed it up, moved shit out, right? Packed up my kids and the animals, and we moved directly into my parents' house because I said, "I can't handle the emotions tied to being here and living here knowing that it's only for another couple weeks." I couldn't do it. The emotional pain was so high that I felt the pain, and then I removed myself from it so that I could continue building a business, being a mom, doing the shit I needed to do, right? I have been not present for the past 10 years of my own life, and that was out of protection. That was out of fucking survival. But I don't wanna fucking live like that anymore. So, yeah, you know what? The couple weeks ago, it really fucking hurt. Do you know why it hurt so bad? It had nothing to do with the person, the pain, or what actually fucking happened. Do you know why it hurt so bad? It hurt so bad because for the first time in over 10 fucking years, I felt seen. I felt alive. You guys, I felt excited about something. Like, what is that? What is that feeling? I'm not used to that feeling. That's what made it so hard because when you are alive and you feel alive and you feel excited, you also then open yourself up to feel pain and to feel disappointment and to feel sadness. And my therapist and I have had a really long discussion and conversation and talk about the fact that, yes, in some ways it is easier to be dead inside, but that's not for the better. That's not really living. And I want to help every woman start living completely, truly, authentically in herself. So if you're listening to this and you are struggling with it and you are like, "Oh, fuck, I don't know. What would I do? What does make me feel alive?" Fuck yeah, I haven't felt like ooh, you guys, there are 5 spots left and we ride as soon as they are all filled. Grab a spot in the next coaching mastermind journey. And the next mastermind, it is the realign mastermind, I think I called it. These are things you guys you think I'd have like pulled up on the screen before I start fucking talking, but you guys know that's not how shit works with me. But it's the realign mastermind. Go, listen, read, reach out, leave me a message. I am going to drop the notes to it in right in here in the show notes. So go and click on it and grab those grab the document and take a look at it. Because if it resonates with you, let's talk. Because this is going to be transformational. All right. 5 spots left, transformational. Biggest thing you can do for yourself today is start thinking about how you actually feel at different points through the day, how you actually feel when you're interacting with certain people, what's draining you, and what's breathing air into you. That's the best place to start because then from there, we can start reevaluating more and more. On that note, you guys go out and do something good today. Do something good today for yourself. What about that? Do something good today for yourself without feeling guilty.